So now you're in a position where things went well. Not things went
great.
bad.
They went great, actually.
Went great. And now I'm still at a crossroad.
Yeah.
So the first time things went bad, and I was at a crossroad. Now things went really good, and I'm still at a crossroad.
Yeah.
You know, so like you say, what drove you? Was this mindset the minute you left, or was the mindset the minute you left, I'm going back somewhere else, or was the mindset when you left more so I'm defeated right now and I'm just gotta, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do, and it takes me time to figure out what is it and how am I gonna approach this again?
I never had the mindset of, you know, like I was defeated, you know. I never really thought of that mindset in no situation, you know. I always had to deal with adversity. Not knowing at the time, like being a kid growing up with an older brother and a younger brother, I'm the one that got to split the room. You know, I'm the one that got to share a room with them. I don't get my own room. You know, it you know, just little stuff like that. Never being a heavier kid that got to lose weight to make the way in to play on this team. You know, there's different adversity. Going into high school playing and having to deal with the starting quarterback getting hurt, stepping in and playing adversity, you know, and I never had the mindset of being defeated because I always been like an underdog, you know. I was never the one that everybody talked about being that guy, you know, and I always had to work for mine. And my coach always told me, like, you keep working hard, boy, you're going to get somewhere for, you know, and I don't know if he meant by the league or, you know, just in life, but I always kept that mindset because nothing was ever given to me. And it was just another time where I had to make a decision, and I had to make a quick decision. It's either go home and not do nothing or go home, do right, and get right, you know. And I think that's why I was able to get back into school, because I didn't go home and just go home and smoke weed and be in the streets and pick up a gun and hang out and try and sell anything. You know, I wasn't doing that. I was working. I had a job and then went to another job. I was working at a rec center and cleaning up, you know. It was more so being like a custodian and a camp counselor. And I used to clean up the bathroom, and they had a big indoor arena with like a turf soccer field. And cuz used to come up there and we used to work out. We worked out a couple times up there, but I used to be cleaning it up, and I just used to be thinking like, man, what are you doing? You're supposed to be on somebody's team. You're supposed to be on somebody's field getting ready for the season. It's August. What is you doing? And just going through that and putting in my own time, and him coming back, and we there for the summer playing 7-on-7. I ended up running the tour guy that was at the school I ended up going to, Mid-America, Nazarene University.
So hold on. So just so we know, you left the school with me, and you set out for a whole year, right?
Yeah, for a full year.
Just working.
From 2015 of May, I was out of school at Iowa all the way until August of 2016. So
you sitting working, and that's
working,
full cycle.
Yeah, full cycle of not being on the field again, just like you was your freshman
year and my 8th grade year. But that was working. That's all I was doing, was working, catching little small checks, working minimum wage, $8, $8.50, whatever it was. But it was more so like, I know I need to be at somebody's school, and I just took the time out my day, you know, giving up my breaks and lunch and actually putting in time, looking up schools and emailing coaches and sending my film off and trying to sell myself to these coaches to where they'd give me a chance. And I mean, my film wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. You know, I ain't have 6 picks for interceptions and 4 forced fumbles and stuff like that. I ain't have all that on my film, but I had plays on there. You know, fundamental plays, being in the right spot. A couple plays, I go make a play, you know, big plays, but it was more so praying and hoping God was gonna do something for me at this point. It was like, I don't want to work no job right now. This ain't what I want to do. And it was at one point to where my mom husband, my stepdad, I call him my stepdad, and he came to me about joining the Army or the military or something, and I kind of was like, nah, you know,
that's not for me.
Yeah,
that's
that ain't my
path.
That ain't my flavor. You know, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to fight for this country. Not, you know, but I'm not trying to put my life on the line like that. You know, but it was just hoping and praying. And then I think with my mom praying for me too, and just with my big older brother and my older sister going to college and not finishing, you know, I had to be the one to finish. I couldn't be the same one, because then my little brother get in this situation, what he do? I'm pretty sure he gonna not finish school just like his older siblings did. And it was more so having trying to set an example for my younger brother and doing right by myself, you know, so I won't be put in the same position as my older siblings, you know, sitting at home working a job all day or not doing nothing. Yeah.
That's that example of, I see you doing something that I don't want to do.
And that piggyback off me saying not doing it the right way, but a better way. You know, I didn't do it the right way. I didn't go to school, to my first school, and stay there for 4 years. I ain't do it like D. But I did it a different way, but it was still a better way than what I could have chose, you know. So it was more so trying to lead by example.
Sometimes it's not always the path of a tradition. It's get through.
Yeah.
It's
get through it.
It's grow through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep fighting.
You learn, you pick up things along the way that you weren't paying as close attention to at this point, but because this actually happened, and I have a consciousness of
what's going on.
This piece right here. Now, no, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be like that.
Right.
You know, for me, growing up, and I didn't go college at all after high school, but I was an all-state cornerback. So I could have played ball for somebody as an all-state cornerback. I could have went somewhere and been on somebody's football field, but because things that happened, things that I did, things that I created in my own life took me off of that path. Right? But there were still lessons in the fall off that path, but get back on life path. Right? I don't go to college, but I still can't lay there. I still can't just lay there and say, oh, well, I got this and now I just can't be nothing now. You know what I'm saying? It was get up, figure out how to be something. You can't be a football player. They obviously, with what you've done and the thing that has to follow you now, they're not going to just let you be a football player like that.
Right.
So what else can you be? What else can you do? What is your mindset going to be from this day to get to next year on this same day?
Yeah.
You know, where am I at this day and where I'm going to be at a year from now on this same day? How is that going to look? You know, in year to year, how is that going to look in my life? And it was consciousness that I had to become conscious once I wasn't conscious at some point. Right. And now I had to be conscious of, I don't want to be that no more. I know that I went there and I did that, and that's not who I want to be in my life anymore. Right. And now I have new objectives that I have to conquer now. I got a son that I have to take care of now. He's more important than this, and this. Yeah. So in order for me to be this for him, then I can't be here and I can't be here and I can't do that. And I don't care what you doing. I might do this, but I don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? It was a different type of movement that allowed me not to be caught in the ways that I was being caught before, doing things that I was not supposed to be doing. No, if I'm not doing something, it's not going to cause me to lose the rest of my life, right? Or lose my son, or lose 10 years of my life. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely can relate to it's a life principle there. You know what I'm saying? When you figure out that I have to move a certain way in order to get something out of this deal. Yeah. You know, so
yeah, and everything that he went through during his time, kind of prepped him for kind of where we are now, to a certain degree. You go to college, I know you was getting to it, I know, I'm sure they want to hear you went to school, stayed at this last school, no more schools in the mix.
Yeah, I went to my third and final school. I was there for 3 years. My first year, I kind of went up there and didn't know nothing or nobody. I didn't even know what color the dorms was, and I didn't even know the name. I knew the name of the coach, but I couldn't put a face with a name, man. I went up there blindly. and kind of made the most of it, made a name for myself. And then I was in that position that D was in, to where I was in that position D was in, to where I was, I had the voice to get some kids in school, bring some people in school. But my first year, it was slow. When I first got there, I was probably like third or fourth on the depth chart. And like after the first 2 drills, it was like, hey, bro, you go first, And we was doing like some backpedaling, footwork stuff. And the starter he was going first. And then I went, he like, bro, where you go to school at? And I'm like, I wasn't in school nowhere last year. He like, man, I like your feet. You go first. And I kind of start going first in the drills and stuff. And I moved up from 1 to 2 real quick after the first day of, train 2 days. I was at the 2 position.
From 4 to 2.
Yeah, 4 to 2 right away after the first day of training. And, with the school, I had to get finalized, everything get cleared for me. And I didn't get to practice the whole first week. So people started moving around. They started making adjustments. And I kind of like fell back down the depth chart, but I was still 2 on the depth chart on the sheet, but I wasn't really there. They weren't preparing for me to be there, but I didn't get to practice, so I didn't really get to play. I think it was at that game. Yeah, I didn't really get to play.
That was the week, my senior year.
Yeah, my redshirt sophomore.
We didn't play that week, and I drove up there.
Yeah, and I just played special teams for real, but probably wasn't until the second game I ended up having 10 tackles in the first. In the first half, we played the triple option team, making tackle after tackle, and then they took me out. Second half, they took me out. They put another guy in, and he played the rest of the game, and we ended up winning by 1. But probably wasn't until like the 4th game, we was playing I think we played Benedictine College, and I had been there for 3-4 weeks now, actually getting to practice and stuff, and the guy over me was getting killed. Like, he couldn't do nothing with the running back. Like, he was killing them, man. I'm sitting on the sideline. It's hot. It's hot as sun beaming right on us. Ain't no shade on the field. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm emailing the coach. I'm trying to hoop again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk on and play basketball. Man.
This is going through your mind before anything is happening. You're like, man, I'm finished with this. I'm ready to go on to
it's going into the 4th quarter. It's going into the 4th quarter. And I still ain't gave me a chance. And we watching him. Like, he on our sideline getting killed. Like, you can't stand in front of him, can't tackle him, nothing. I'm trying to go hoop. I ain't finna play with these people. They don't know me, I don't know them, they ain't giving me no chance. So I end up emailing the coach anyway.
What? This is after that game?
This right after the game. We on the bus going back to the school, and I'm emailing the coach. End up talking to him. He told me to come in and talk to him and stuff. And end up talking to him, and at Iowa, I played the 4. I ain't play no guard position. I was playing big. And he came to me like, what position did you play at the school? And looked up my numbers, and I averaged like 8.6 rebounds and 4 steals or something like that. And he like, what position did you play? I'm like, I played the 4. And he had all the list of the players on the board. That's 7 foot, 6'10", 6'8", 6'9".
That you gonna have to see.
He like, nah, you ain't got to play no big. Worried about it over here, And he let me walk on and stuff like that, but I ended up playing towards the end of the season.
At Mid-America.
At Mid-America, my first year, I ended up playing towards the middle of the season because we played
football or basketball?
Both. I played both my first year there.
Oh, okay.
But in the middle of the football season, my great uncle passed, and it was either go travel and barely play or go home to the funeral. And I told my dad I was going to stay. Excuse me. Told my dad I was gonna stay, and he was like, all right, and we got to practice, and another senior that got hurt in camp ended up coming back, and they ended up moving him to the position above me, and moving him above me on the depth chart, and he played a whole nother position. So I kind of told my dad like I was coming home for the funeral, and they went up there and got murdered 50-something to 21 or something like that. And when we came back, they had the offer on the table for me to start at middle linebacker. And I ended up playing middle linebacker the remainder of the season, like the last 5 games or so, and ended up finishing top 10 on the team in tackles, and played basketball that following year, and I ended up breaking my foot that next year.
So the next year is all off the table. Ain't no second year there.
So
done with the second year.
The second year, well, I wouldn't say I was done. I recognized I injured my foot playing basketball. You know, I did a little step and it kind of was weird or whatever. And long story short, I ended up going through spring ball and I got hurt. I sprained my MCL. Somebody rolled me up and didn't play in the spring game. So I went from football, basketball, back to football. Then that summer,
I'm hurt though.
Yeah, I get hurt, sprain my MCL and go through the summer and everything. I get back, I'm cool, but me not thinking about my foot, you know.
The knee is better, but the foot ain't right.
But I wasn't really thinking about it. I have injuries here and there. It'll tweak it or something, you know. Mm-hmm. And I end up, it was tour days started. It was the first day of tour days. We had put on pads.
And third year now.
Nah, this the second year. And we put on pads and I was going in one-on-ones and I did that same step I did in basketball and it hurt again. And the whole tour days I'm going on it, this was a Tuesday. Saturday I had to see the doctor. So I'm still practicing on it through the tour days and stuff. And long story short, I ended up getting x-rays and having two fractures on the same foot. Mm. And it was more so how I'm feeling that day rather than you not going to play or I'm not going to play, making that decision. And a lot of the coaches was coming to me asking me, am I going to play? Because at this point, I'm a captain of the team. You know, I'm starting safety. The people love me. The teammates love me. I know my defense. You know, everything was going in order. And get to the first game and end up breaking my foot. You know, and they ended my season. Took a medical red shirt. I didn't play basketball after that. You know, because I felt I owed them more than I did the basketball team because I'm on scholarship. And end up red shirting my that second year, and then the coaches left going that spring. They left that spring. The head coach and all them left that spring, and we got new coaches. And that third year, it started off smooth, and then it got rocky.
But this is the last year.
Yeah, this is the last year at this school. It started off smooth, then it got rocky. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting back behind two people that we know not better than me, but things that happened, I done had an altercation with a coach because he said something to me that I ain't like, and I said something back, you know, and they kind of threw me under the bus with me responding the way I did to him, and it kind of F myself over, you know. It wasn't really a bounce back from there. You know, I ended up playing more as the season went on, but it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't the year I wanted, you know. And
it wasn't a finish to the
start,
4 years of playing.
To the process that I from Northwest to Iowa to Mid America, you know, it wasn't the plan I had to finish, you know. And I think that kind of affected me, you know, not playing that year and being in school. And it kind of affected me towards my grades and wanting to do it and just doing enough to get by, you know.